What is up, guys? Welcome back to DeeterPlays. Today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about this game right here, Factory Simulator. Once you start getting in here, it's not really necessarily intuitive what to do with all these different ingredients and recipes and things that you can do, but in order to get started and start moving on pretty fast, I'm going to show you guys how to do all that stuff. So when you first start, there's a little bit of a tutorial that explains all these little icons here at the bottom. So you can see right here, you're going to want to remember these. It's H, B for build, delete is X, inventory is E, machines is V. You want to know that, and then also that kind of goes up there. And if you press V again, it makes the menu go away. There's also this index right here that also on the left side you can see the machines. And this is very important because it shows some things that you can do with all these different machines to all of the different elements that you're able to pick up. And then we've got over here crates. If you want to buy some crates and you want to get like VIP or double income or more charge or more cargo capacity, if you want to kind of build a little bit faster, you've got those game passes right there. So just to start here with the basics, on the bottom, these all of these that you do, you can also do one for harvest, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, or up to 7. So just remember, guys, if you're open like in a menu, something that gets really confusing, sometimes you're in the inventory and then you like select something that you want to put down and say we're going to put this little cell thing right there in the corner. Now if we've still got it basically selected, so in order to get rid of that, we press like B or 2 again and see that how that makes it kind of go away. So just in case you guys are in that, that's the way to do it. And sometimes you also have to go in between inventory and then you want to go between builds. So you press like 2 and 4 because you might want to have to select like a different item there that's something in your inventory. So also, in order to get things in your inventory, we've got right here the machines. Now you can see that I've got a bigger selection of options that I've got right now than what you will get when you first start out. So we're just going to go back to the basics and then we'll start explaining all of these little parts. So what your goal is to do is basically you want to build out your factory to be as big as you can make it, to be able to automatically earn as much money as you can and try to get up in the tiers as quickly as you can, or just just try to make up to your way to the highest tier. When you go up to higher tiers, you can see right here, you gain access to other minerals and items that you can get, like ore. You can get diamond. If I go to tier 3, you start out at the 0 tier, and then you have to buy the tier. The first one you can buy, and then you can get copper and some sand, and that one doesn't cost too much. I think it's just 3K. But in order to get 3K, kind of have to start out a little bit, just harvesting things. Also, you will be able to get trucks along the way and get larger trucks that you can buy for more money in the game. But first thing you're going to want to do is start with harvesting. So what you have is a backpack just to start out. You don't have a truck, and I believe in the backpack you can hold 15 of something. But in order to start doing that, you press H or the 1 or H, and that will bring up your little harvesting tool. So when you've got your harvesting tool, you can only harvest and hold basically one element or one of these minerals at a time. So like if I click on rock, I can do that, but I can't pick it up because I've already got one piece of the copper right there in my backpack. So there's different places where these minerals can be found. Now copper, you can see, is found over here along the mountains. So there is a way for figuring out where to find all of the different minerals. We will show you that here later on. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to harvest this. So I'm going to grab my harvester. I can click on it. I can press 1 or I can press H. And now when I hover over whatever the mineral is, you can see it tells me what the mineral is. This is copper ore. Now I can get that. And you can see I can actually pick that one up. And you can see the numbers go up in my backpack. So at this point, you can only carry one thing. When you're starting out, you're just going to be able to get wood to be able to start out, and then after that you'll be able to get rock, and then you'll be able to work your way up here to the copper. And when you go in higher tiers, the more rare minerals and the things that you're able to pick up, those are worth more. So you're going to be doing this to start out just with trees. So I'm going to start out with, I'm going to do copper. This is just a tier 2 item. Now you can see I've got 15 in my backpack right there, and I can't grab any more. I've got a total of 15 that I can get. At this point there is no game pass to be able to run faster, but they might be adding something like that later. The best way to get around faster in the game is to get yourself one of the vehicles as quick as you can, and then that way when you've got the vehicle you can also hold on to more things. So this item here that we placed earlier is one of those sell items. So when you first start out here, as far as what you're going to have in your inventory here, you're only going to have like a sell zone, you're going to have one of the basic containers, and you're going to have a straight conveyor belt. So that's all you're going to start out with, just the basics. So in order to start out with that, we're going to have, we'll just put a conveyor belt so that we can show a conveyor belt running into this cell zone right there. So we're going to click there, and you can see it still shows. So I've got a bunch of my inventory, and I don't want to do any building anymore. So remember, at this point, you press 2 or B in order to do that. Or you could just press E to go back into your inventory and select something else. So we're going to grab this basic container right here. So these basic containers, or any of the things, because there's mines that exist as well. You can see there's an arrow going in on the blue and an arrow coming out on the orange. So remember that, guys. Blue is always in, arrow, or the orange is always out. So you want the orange to be the output, and that's going to go into the spot that you want it to go. So now we're going to leave build mode right here. We've got this basic container, we've got a conveyor, and now we can actually put some stuff there so that we can make some money. So we've got these 15 right here. We're going to click on here, and that's going to put those 15 into the storage container. And now that we have a conveyor belt for it, it has an output. It's going to come out, and it's going to go into the cell zone. Now you can see right here, we're only making 45 per piece of copper ore. The trees are going to be worth even less, and the rocks will be worth more than the trees, but then less than the copper ore. But you want to be able to do that and keep getting as much as you can in order to sort of build up, get as much money to buy higher tiers. And when you buy higher tiers, you're going to be able to purchase other things. Now over here, the shop, if you press V, or let's see, 5 or V, will open up the machines. Now there is a shop here where you can buy some machines. And as far as the machines that are available at first, as far as cutters and presses and furnace and that stuff, you're just going to start out with like just the simple T1 for the tier 1 stuff. You can see T2, those are things that you get once you get to tier 2. So you have to buy tier 1 before you can get yourself the cutter and all that stuff. So you're just going to have to go through and basically sell some of the rocks, sell some of the wood until you can buy tier 1. And then once you buy tier 1, you're going to have some of these other options. And then you can start setting up automatic things, and also things where you can make a little bit more money with what's going on here. So I'm at tier 3, but this is where you want to be able to purchase your upgrade. I don't have enough, obviously, to get tier 3 right now. I need 6.25 million at this point. But then once I do, I get access to uranium, the rhyzanite, the titanium, the diamond, and the superwood tree. You can see also next to it, it says how much each of those is worth. So now let's say that you've purchased T1, you've purchased tier 1, you don't really need a truck just yet. That's going to cost you a little bit, but before you try to do that, let's try to make a little bit more. Now you can access other minerals right here. You can access the copper. So if you want to get copper, you can put that in there. But here in the store, you want to go into the store, and with machines, you can start buying mines, and you can, or farms or mines basically. And when you do that, you can also get some machines once you're in tier 1. Also, if you look in the upper right hand corner of the screen, you can see it says like cut 10 hardwood trees. At first, there's going to be much easier missions, and after you do missions, you can end up getting yourself some free items out of the shop, like some of the mines and things like that. I think the first one you end up getting is like a rock mine, so you can get a rock mine. We'll see what we're going to do right there. Let's see, a stone mine. So once we get a stone mine, we can actually just place it somewhere. So press R button in order to rotate it, and then you want to have the output basically going to some point where it can sell, and you can make some money off of that. So we're going to do that. We're done with that. We're going to press 2 to make that go away because we don't need to put any more down. But this is just going to be randomly every, I think, 10 seconds or so, or 15 seconds. See, it's just going to drop one of the rocks, and it goes into the sell point. And then what we want right here, we also want to try to make some automatic trees come through here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some tree farms down. So we're going to the inventory right here. I've gone to the shop and I've already purchased some of this stuff. So we've got a conveyor belt. We're going to rotate this to make sure it is facing how we want it to face. And I'm going to put some conveyor belts over here. And yeah, there we go. Just 3 conveyor belts. And then I'm going to press 2 to make those go away. Actually we're going to press 4 so we can go into our inventory. Now right here we have the tree farms. And these tree farms, you can see they have an orange output. Now we can make the output go into these conveyor belts right here. Oh, we went to that. Got to grab the tree farm. All right, so I'm going to press R to rotate. So now we've got that rotated over there, and we're going to move this over here, and we're going to make it to where it's dropping onto the conveyor belt. So we've got 1, 2. We got 2 of those down there, and let's get a third one. over here because I think I've got 3 of these available. So we're going to put that right there. And then I'm going to press 4 so I can go back to my inventory. And I'm going to put just one more conveyor belt facing this way. Press R so I can rotate that conveyor belt. And then there we go. So you can see right here, it doesn't really matter, these little walls along the conveyor belts. If you have things spitting out into the conveyor belt, then you're good to go. But right here now, we've got 3 farms, and 3 of these tree farms all dumping into the box right here where the input goes. And then it's going to come into, and it's just going to output there to the cell area. And then you can also come here to this basic box and you can just drop any of these and they will store in there. Like if you get rid of this cell area right here, like I press this right here. So press 3 or X to delete and then click on an item, you can delete it. Now you can see that these boxes still back up. Just because I don't have a cell zone there, it doesn't matter. It's no big deal. Those things are just going to back up. And as soon as you do put a sale zone on that spot, then you'll be okay. And you'll just collect everything that was built up there all along that time. So see how all of those went in there at the same time? So that's how you want to do it. Okay, and now we're going to start going in depth a little bit more about what we need to do here for the machines. Okay, so if you go here to the machines, you can see we've already showed you what to do with like the cell zone, basic container. You can also build up on your place. So like right here, we've got blocks. So if you want to grab some blocks, you can buy blocks and you can actually start building on your area over here. So you can make this whole place look a little cooler. If you want, you can start building blocks like along the perimeter, so you can start kind of building walls and that kind of stuff. That's up to you if you want to start building all of those. Start building up. There's also platforms, things that build a second level, guys. You can build a second level with what you've got over here. So like this large platform right here, once you can purchase those, you can actually start putting them up on second layers right here, like this item right here. We can put it up top here. Boom, right there. So you see how we've got that platform on top of that. So now we can start building like whole different levels along this second floor. So we can actually start building machines on top of machines, and you can start building these platforms kind of alongside each other. So this platform right here, we're gonna go back to our inventory, and let's see, we've got a stone mine right here. Let's just drop another stone mine right on top of this where the output is going to drop up here. So the output is going to drop down there, but in order for it to actually drop from the second floor, you need to put either a conveyor belt in front of it for it to drop onto something, or you need to put a chute on there. So we're gonna go here to the inventory, and right here is a small chute. This is one of the items that you're gonna have available there in the store. And then you wanna put the small chute right there in front of the output for that thing, and then you can see that thing is actually starting to output some stuff. So now that we've got the chute right there, it is dropping from the upper floor down there to that cell area, and I've got all of this stuff just automatically generating money for me. So now we've just got trees, we got some rocks, that stuff. Once we've got that, we've got enough money, we can work our way up to getting a small truck. And once we purchase a small truck, anytime you want to, you can just spawn the truck right here. To get into the truck, you just hop right in, stand in that spot, and then it's just basically WASD in order to drive this around. If you want to jump to get out, you can do that. And also, if your truck is somewhere, if you want to respawn your truck, you can come back here, click on respawn, it will disappear from wherever it is, and it will respawn over in this location. Also, if you end up like flipping over or do something crazy in the truck, you can also press the F button. So right here, let's see, I did that perfectly. So you can press the F button to flip over, and then that should get you right back on your wheels. So now that you've got a truck, you can carry some more stuff, and you can carry a couple different things as well. So let's go. We're gonna get some rock over here. So let's say we're gonna come over here. We're gonna use the harvesting tool. We're gonna grab ourselves some rock. We're gonna pick up some of those. I've got that on my back. So now if I'm trying to go and pick up another thing, I can't pick up another item on my back, but I can pick up another item with the truck. So we can carry 2 different type of things, and then the truck itself can carry a little bit more than what I can carry on my back. I believe you can get like 30 inside of the truck when you're doing this. So I've got copper ore in the truck that I'm picking up in the truck, and anytime I try to go through and pick up any rock, that is going to go into my backpack. So I can go around with my truck, I can get 30 copper core, and I can get 15 of the rock. Okay, so as you can see, I've got 30 copper ore in there. I can't pick up any more, and I've got 15 of the rock in my backpack, so I can no longer pick up any rocks. So now what we're gonna do is drive over to our base. You can see right there, if you go pretty far, then you can see that big HUD right there and the big green home image. That shows you where your base is, just in case you're far away from it and you need to know where to go. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to drop this stuff off here and make some money off it. But at this point, I'd rather make some more money. So what we're gonna do is before we drop these off, we're gonna get some other machines out here and we're gonna show you how we can make a little bit more. So at this point right now, what we have is we've got some rock and we've got some copper ore. So here, if we look in the machines, you can see that we've got these things. We've got cutters, we've got presses, we've got furnaces, we've got that kind of stuff. So right here in the index, you go to index and you look at these machines. On the left side, you can see we've got T1 cutter, we've got the press, we've got the furnace, we've got the extruder, and then we've got all of the tier 2 stuff. And then each time you buy a higher tier, you're going to get more and more of these, which have different recipes right here. So you can see right here, T1 cutter. If you put in rock, what it's going to output is a stone slab. So also, if you take a stone slab and then you cut that again, you get stone tiles. So if you ran a rock through a cutter twice, you would be able to turn a rock that was 10 into 35. Then if you take just wood, run it through a cutter, you get wood boards. But you can see here on the left side, there is no wood boards with an output. So you can't run the wood boards through a second cutter and get any more money on it. That's all you can do with that one. If you grab a stone slab, of course we showed that one. If you grab glass, run it through a cutter, you get glass panes. If you run turkey through, you get turkey chopped. Then also here, we've got the press. Now in the press, you've got wood boards. Now wood boards is something you get from the output of the cutter. So basically what you would do here for the recipe is you would run the wood through the cutter to get the wood boards, and then you would run the wood board afterwards through the press to get pressurized wood, and then you would get 65 for the pressurized wood instead of what you would normally get for just the wood. And then also you can see here on the left side we've got copper ingot and we've got turkey chop, but you can't just farm those. You have to get copper ingot from doing something else. So right here I don't see that we've got copper ingot, but if we look in the furnace over here, if you take copper ore and run it through the furnace, then you get copper ingot. So in this instance, what you would do is you would want to take copper ore, run it through the furnace, and then after you ran it through the furnace, you would run the copper ingot through the press, and then that would turn into the copper plate, and you would get 100 out of that. Now the cutter doesn't look like it has anything for the copper, so if you run the copper through the cutter, it doesn't do anything valuable for you. Then of course we have here the extruder, which if you take the copper ingot and run it through the extruder, then you can get the copper wire, which is definitely worth more. So if you do have copper ingot, if you only have enough to buy a furnace, then you can just take the ingot and run it through the press, and then you can get the copper plate. But it would be better to save up to get the extruder and then run the copper ingot through the extruder to get the copper wire. So I hope that makes sense for you guys here with these different recipes and all of these different machines. This is the key to making the most money out of any of the elements that you are farming out there. Any of the wood, any of the copper, any of the gold, anything that you get, the best thing to do is come and check to see what you can do to make the most money out of it. So what I'm going to do with this copper that I've got, I'm going to try to make some copper wire. So it looks like I'm going to need an extruder, and it looks like, let's see, I'm going to have to get the copper ore and then run it through a furnace. So I need a furnace and an extruder in order to do this. So let's see if I've already got these items right here, a furnace and an extruder. All right, placing the extruder right there. Now, if things are off-centered, they will go into the sales zone. It just looks a little bit off. So if the sales zone or whatever's going through actually only covers just half of it, then that is fine. It will actually work that way. But just to make it look nicer, I'm still just gonna go do this, and I'm going to move this sales zone right over here just so it looks a little bit better. But not all this stuff is going to be perfectly centered because it's still just a little bit off right there. But now what we're going to do is we're going to put that furnace down, and then you can see right here we're going to put this furnace, and we're going to have it going into this item right here. And again, sometimes they're not going to line up perfectly, but usually you can get them to do that. And now we're going to put, let's see, I'm going to put a basic container right here, and that's going to run the output so I can drop any of my elements in there. But also, you know what I want to do just so I can keep making more of this stuff? I want to put a conveyor belt right here, and I want to put any of my copper mines that I can in there so that any of the copper stuff is making money for me. So we're going to rotate this over here, and let's see, I think I can fit this right there. So I can fit another copper mine next to it. So we're going to put that right there, and then that copper mine is going to be dropping all of those. Now, the rock right here is something that, so at this point, I've got everything ready here for the copper, but I don't really have anything ready to make as much money as I can off the rock, which I have right here. So you kind of want to set up your whole area, or at least the area that you have available, to try to make the most of what you can with the elements that you're able to collect. Okay, so remember earlier, rock goes into a cutter and it becomes a stone slab, comes into a second cutter, it becomes stone tiles. So that's what we're gonna do with the rock. Looks like the most valuable thing we can do. So I've got 2 cutters right here, and I'm going to drop the rock right there. So it's gonna take these rocks, and it's gonna drop them, and you can see right now we're making 35 out of these rocks, and that's quite a bit more than we were making out of them originally. So you can see right here in the recipes, rock was just worth 10, but now we're actually getting 35 out of them. So with these machines, we were able to get a lot more value out of all of that stuff. So now what we've got over here in the back of our truck, we've got all of this copper, and we're going to click on here. We can hold 15 in our backpack at a time. Then we're going to come and we're going to drop this stuff off over here on the basic box. So you can see that this is going through all of these, and it's coming out, and we're getting 225 for each one of these copper ores. So that is a lot more than we would have gotten normally, because now that we've got it going through the furnace, and we've got the copper ore coming through as the ingot, and then that's going through the extruder, the ingot is coming out as copper wire, we're getting 225 out of that, instead of what we would more normally get out of just the copper, which is just 45. So that is the best way to make the most. And also, again, guys, you want to try to get as many of these sort of mines and things on these, and then going through as much as you can to make as much as you can out of these different elements that you can get, all these different minerals and elements and everything that you get. So you want to be able to just basically automatically have passive income coming in. And then while you've got passive income coming in, you want to get in your biggest truck, you want to roam around, and you want to get the most valuable of the elements that you're able to get at that time. So at this point, a good thing for me would be another copper mine, because that's, say we're tier 1, that's like the best that we can get. Honestly, if you want to see the best that you can get available for the tier that you have, just look at what's available here in the machine. So it says tree farm, I can get trees. Stone, I can get stones. Copper, I can get copper. Sand, I can get sand. And it also goes up most value. So like hardwood is more than the sand mine. I can get iron, I can get gold, I can get advanced mines for these, which actually just output more of this stuff, so you can actually output a little bit faster, and that's worth a little bit more. So right now you can see the mine that I can get that's cost the most is the gold mine. So I can go and I can mine gold. Now if you want to know where to get gold, you can click on whatever that machine is, whatever the mine is. You can see it says automatically outputs gold ore, and it also says found on the hills. So it tells you a little bit of information of where to find that mineral or that element. So like right here, the stone is kind of like right there, and the tree is right there, but the copper, it says found near cliffs and in caves. The sand, it says found in the desert. You can see, click on the hardwood, it says found in the valley. So there's all sorts of different places along here, but generally these elements that are worth more, the most costly elements, are generally further away from the main base area. All right, so we dropped that copper there, and before we go out and we're gonna go find and show you some of the other elements and other parts of the map, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get machines. I wanna be able to get as much as I can. So let's see, I don't have enough for an advanced copper mine, and I don't see an advanced copper mine right here. Let's see, advanced copper mine, that's 45. I don't have enough for that at this point. So I'm just gonna grab a normal copper mine. We're gonna buy that, and we're going to go into our inventory. We're gonna grab that copper mine, and I'm gonna rotate it right here. I'm gonna place it right there. So now I've got 2 copper mines that are just automatically dropping. They're going through the furnace, they're going through all of this stuff so that they can come out, and each one is going to be worth 225. And you can see there on the bottom left hand corner how much I've got and how much I'm averaging per second. So that's what you want, is just a lot of passive income, and you want to be doing that with like the whatever minerals you have available to you that are worth the most. So now that I've got my truck, I've got my backpack, it doesn't have anything in it. you can see there is a big open area over here. And we'll just give you a quick sped up look at this whole thing. If you go around here at the top, you can see there's different areas. Like up there is the tundra. There's one of these that is the desert back there. If you go back there, it is the desert area. There's one of those that you go out to that is the volcano. If you go down here, this is the valley right here. And from the valley, you can see the cave. So anything that says the caves, there's so many minerals down here in the cave. This is usually the best place to go find the stuff. So from here, there's one area you can go down, and then it goes down and it goes past this, which you can get some of those elements. And then it goes down into where you can get these electric crystals. But if from there you take a right, you can go down a different path over here and you can find different areas. You go past these trees, the resonite in between those trees, then you go past there, there's the shroom area and the weird area. There's so many different areas you can go to. All right, guys, so those are just the basics of how to play Factory Simulator. Remember, you want to try to get some big trucks. The bigger the trucks you have, the more you can actually hold. So you want to save up for that. You want to get higher tiers so that you can get other minerals available. If you guys want to get VIP, that is pretty cool too. Then, of course, you want to make as many just automatic earning spots here in your land as possible. Then once you get enough, you want to start expanding your land, make your whole factory larger, have more and more automatic money coming in, and also remember you can build on other layers and you can get all this other stuff in the machine shop. You've got hedges, you've got glass platforms, you've got a donation box where other people can come and donate to you. The platforms are the ones you can put on other objects. You can build a second floor if you guys want to go a little bit higher up. And then of course, just remember that these machines are pretty valuable, and if you want to know how to use these machines, then you just come to this area right here, the index, and it will show you all the different ingredients that you can use to make as much money as you can with these machines and with all of the minerals that you're able to get. If you guys have any additional questions in the game, then feel free to ask me there in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. We will talk to you guys later.